Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Edu Stipend Golang Masterclass. And first of all, we are apologizing for the delay. If you've been following the series, you would understand that, and you would notice that there's been a slight delay in the delivery of the courses. We're very sorry about that. Different things, result up until such. We're very sorry, and we hope that you gain much insight and you gain more understanding of Golang from today's episode, in which we'll be building a a thorough API or a simple API that mimics it mimics a movie a streaming platform. So yes, we're going to be working with a streaming service. But today is gonna be doing it for, let's say, music industry, a music platform. So that's what we're gonna be working with today. So today's class is powered by EduStipend, and EduStipend helps you fund your learning needs, and all what you have to do is to click here, request your request for a stipend, and I think it runs from the first to the 8th of every month. So check your calendar. If you're in luck, you run it up. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. And first things first, we're going to go over to where we store our projects folder, to where we store our project, and we're gonna create a new folder. Let's call this music free. I just like to call it music free. It just came to me. So we're going to open this with Visual Studio Code. Okay. And here we are. Okay, so we're gonna open our terminal. I'm gonna say go mod init. Alright, beautiful. Just like that. And we have in the module that / music free. Okay, fine. The next thing we're gonna do now is to the base structure for how this project is going to look like. So you can do this in VS Code, or you can do it in your file explorer. So the first we're going to create here is we're going to create two major folders, CMD, and the next folder is PKG, contains all our packages we're going to be working with. And inside PKG, we're going to create a folder, config. Inside the PKG still, we're going to create another folder called controllers. Inside the PKG folder, we're going to create another folder called models. Inside the PKG folder still, we're going to create another folder called route, as I like to call it, route, yeah. Then we're going to create another folder inside here. We're going to call it utils, yeah. So as we go on, I'm going to be telling us the function of these folders. What kind of packages would they be housing? Why is this structure necessary? In our previous class, we built it without all of this. We just had it in one file. But as you begin to build bigger projects, you're going to understand that you cannot just fit everything into one place. Everything could fit into one place, but it gets really messy. It's bad for practice. It's bad in the once you've worked with any industry, is that when you get a job, you're going to notice that nobody really puts everything into one place. Okay, so inside CMD, we're gonna have the main folder, and inside the main folder, we're gonna have our entry, which is main.go. Okay, beautiful. So I'd like to get rid of errors, we say package main. Okay, so we're good just like that. So we're gonna start from config, because for me config has the list dependencies, other files Other packages are going to need the package from this, and this, and I want the packages from this, and all of that. Okay, so we're going to be working with config first, and we're going to create app.config. My bad. We're going to create app.go. My god, I'm going to create it. So okay, we're going to say package config, and the purpose of this config is this. In today's episode, we're going to be dealing with a database. So all the information we're going to be displaying in our API client is going to be stored in a database. All right. So probably we're going to be using MySQL. And if you haven't yet installed MySQL, I think I have the tab open there, and I didn't have it open. I think it's dev.mysql. You download and the installer. So you go right here to be able to download the version. I'm on Fedora, so I installed mine through the terminal. So you just check it up how it goes. I think this is just for Windows. Didn't see any operating system here, but I'm pretty sure if you check Google, you're gonna see how to get this all sorted out. Okay, so we're gonna be using MySQL for today's class. So let's just set this up. Okay, so we're gonna say var first. We say db. I'm gonna be using GOM. GOM is we create a schema for our database, and we migrate it to the database itself without working in the database. So what this means is that in our code here, we're going to define the schema for our database, and when the code runs initially, it's going to create the instance of that database in our database wherever it is at our local machine. Okay, so let's say gom.db. So wherever you see db, it's referring to this. It's given that error, so I'm going to say Control S, and it's going to import this from the right place. So we're going to say go mod tidy. Let's find the module for package gom.io/gom. Should be done with that in a sec. Alright, so we move on, and we say we create a function for it. Func connect. And it's going to take in, we're going to create a variable, and we're going to call it, let's call it DSN. DSN is equals to the parameters that we use to sign into our database. It's going to sign in parameters we're going to use in our database. Okay, so there's a particular step I wish we should do. But let's just get on with it. We solve all of that as it goes on. We're going to run into an error, and then we're going to show you just how it goes. So root, which stands for the pass username of our MySQL. So MySQL on my local machine here, the username is root, and the password for it is password 123 hash that. Yeah, and we're going to say at the address CCP 16 days 127.0.0.1, and takes in 3306 as a port. Okay, I'm gonna say slash, say music free. Okay, and we're gonna pass in parameters, just standard conventional stuff. And so this is equal to UTF-8. Normally I could copy all of these out, but I just like to keep all of this in mind. So in case I see the wrong thing, I'm like, oh, I know what that stands for. Why that isn't working? Time equals to true. This equals to local. Alright, just like that. So right after this, we're gonna go ahead and try and handle the errors, or just gom dot. Okay, we now say open. We say my SQL. and we have MySQL imported. Just that. You may not have yours imported at once. You can type this out and then do go mod tidy, and it's going to have them imported. So we're going to pass in DSN there, and we're also going to pass in gom.config, just like that. I'm going to handle errors and say if there is any error, error not continue, we're going to say panic error. Just like that, we're going to say db equals to d. Alright. So one more thing, after creating this connect function, we're just going to say, now that you've got to know that to get the db, we're going to create a function get db, and return the type of db, that is gom. This is gom dot db. Let's say return db. Okay, just like that. Alright, so now we've created the config file for our application. Okay, so let's run go mod tidy. So we've created a config for our application. So when we run our application the first time, it's gonna go through the config. We're gonna import the config to the necessary places, and we're gonna run. It's gonna check this. It's gonna check this. It's gonna go through this to check check this and check if this database exists. If it does, then it goes ahead to do the rest of the code that we're gonna be writing out anytime soon. So sorry, this is not minus, this is equals. Okay, I think all of that looks okay. So the next thing I want to be handling right now is the models. So we're gonna say inside models, we're gonna create we're gonna say models go. So now this is the structure. We're gonna be creating the structure, and we're gonna be creating sort of like the schema for our database also. So okay, so we say package models, we say var db, and we say gom dot db. Alright, and has an import there, just up there, just nice and clean. So we go ahead to say type music illustrate. I'm gonna say is a gom.model. Name of song, the string, backticks there, I say gom JSON name, just like that. And we say next one, what genre of music it is. Is it Afrobeat? Is it pop? Is it hip hop and rap? What is it? I'm gonna say this. We're gonna say gom again. Just like that. And finally, we're gonna say artist. Just like that. So we could just format this. Yes, that looks nice and better. So now we have the model for this all set, nice and clean. We can say func init. This is config dot connect. gonna say db. We're just passing in the parameters for our application into this, so that we don't have any issues with. And we say auto migrate. So this is what I'm talking about. It's gonna auto migrate this struct. We're gonna auto migrate our struct here. Auto migrate. I'm gonna pass in music. Nice and clean, just like that. So now we have this all sorted out. We have sorted out. So we're gonna create we're gonna see if this is working. We're just gonna check if this is working. We're gonna create our models and patch it up with a particular controller, just like the flow of it all, just to see if it's working, and just to test it out. Okay, so we're gonna test it out first with the get all function. So we're gonna say this particular one is to get all, like that. And we say func takes in a receiver of M music. Is receiver. Oh, sorry, my bad. This isn't gonna take a receiver. We're not yet there. So this is gonna say, this is a function that says get all music, just like that, nice and clean. And when this function runs, it's going to return an array of all the music in the database. I'm gonna say var music of type music, just like that. And it's gonna db. Now when we run db, it's gonna perform all the database functions that we designed in our app.go. We'll say db dot find. Okay, I'm gonna find all the music hiding in there, nice and clean. I'm gonna return music, nice and clean. So why do we have this? It's not an expression. Oh my, not you. Oh, since I made the probe. Oh my god. Okay, beautiful. So this works nice and clean. So we're gonna hook it up to our we're not gonna hook it up to our controllers. Yeah, we're just gonna hook this up to our controllers, and then we're not gonna create a route for it. Then we're gonna touch it down on our main.go. Then we're gonna run the program to see how smooth it is. So now in our controllers, we're gonna create a file called controllers. Go. Let's say package controllers. So whenever you're working with endpoints, these are all the things that has to come together in order to make for when you're trying to touch down on a particular endpoint. This is really basic, because in between trying to trying to reach an endpoint, trying to make an endpoint to work for you. For example, many times in between trying to get all the music, a bunch of other functions and package authentication, authorization, and a bunch of other packages are taken into consideration just in order to get stuff from the database. It checks the session. So this is just a little this is just a snippet of what a bigger project might actually look like. Okay, so we're gonna say, I'm gonna create a var. We're gonna say new music first, and it's gonna take inference from models dot. So once we do this, we're gonna get this imported nice and clean. So for many of you that have been following, I'm not a fan of importing everything, typing this out. You watch other videos and the people, have people type all of this out. It's fine. I just trust my intelligence to do the work for me. And this is, get all. Okay, just like how we defined it over there, nice and clean. So I can say func get music. And it's going to be taking in some parameters from the HTTP package. HTTP dot response writer. So this is just conventional stuff. HTTP.request, just like that, and new music models dot get our music, just like that. We're gonna say response. This should take in two parameters, but we don't want the second parameter, so we're gonna pass in an underscore for blank, means saying that we don't want it. We say JSON dot Marshall what you have inside of there, inside of new music, nice and clean. So we're gonna say w the header, like that. I'm gonna say we're gonna set that to conventions of contents type is application slash JSON. I'm gonna say the right header http dot status okay. W the right, just like that. Are we missing something? Are we? I think we're missing something. This, why isn't this? It says here new music declared but not used. So we should have initially declared this. My bad. I know why we're getting that error, because I'm trying to keep this, I'm trying to make sure that there's a flow to all of this, but I think I missed something out. I don't know. I'm trying to see where it's trying to get where it should be defined. New music was with this used. Oh, my bad. It's staring at me, at us, right in the face. So let's check this out. You're gonna get this. Okay. Alright. So we have the nice and clean, just like that. Yeah. So yes, this goes here, and that is alright. So right after this, we're gonna go into our utils. As I said, you're gonna see a bunch of things that we treated in just one file in the last episode, but it's not right. We're just taking our time to have all of this separately be clean. We don't want everything to just be in one place, all of that. I like my code environments nice and clean. So it's a utils logo, just like that, and this is handling the type of responses that we're going to be dealing with, the communication type between our between the code and the API client. So we're going to say package utils for a start. There's a func pass body. There's a r. HTTP, and this is taking in just request and taking in an interface. So if body where's the IOUTLs? From the IOUTLs package. I'm going to say read all. So it's going to read the body of the request. I'm going to read body. And what is it looking for and all, which we're going to be coming to that. We're going to say just like that. Then we move on. We say if body that. Okay. So if now you have the JSON, and we're going to say on Marshall. Right. Got it. Just like that. Alongside the interface. And we return. Nice and clean. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to deal with right now so that we could run this application is saying in our main.go we have this. We're going to say func main. Just like that. We can say for the routing, my bad. For the routing, okay, we haven't yet come to that. Okay, great. We haven't yet come to that. So yeah, we should deal with the route first before we even deal with main.go. Shouldn't skip that. So that is the flow in which we're going with. So in this route, so we're gonna say route.go, routes.go, however works best for you. Packet route, and we say great. So we are here now. What do we do? When this is an endpoint we're talking about. When our when the API clients or when anyone, a user, goes to this particular directory, what response should the user get? So we're going to say var, let's call this register music route. It's going to be like housing all the other functions, routes. Yeah, I'm going to say func like that. And for the router, we're going to be using Gorilla Mux. We say mux dot router. Nice and clean. It's imported it, but we're just going to run go mod tidy again. So it gets that package and it's integrated into our application, nice and clean. Say router dot handle. So okay, it's in now. So now we could work with this router dot handle func, and handle func is gonna take in slash music. We're gonna say music. Yes, exactly. All right. So we're gonna be creating the first, which is responsible for getting all. For getting all, we're gonna say yes. We're gonna say that. We're gonna say control. Don't forget the controllers. And what controller do we need for this? Get music. Let's say get music, and the method that we're gonna be asking our client to work with is the get method. And the last but not the least piece of this puzzle is our main.go, where we define where we define a bunch of core things like what address are you going to working with and all of that. I think I'm going to say we're going to call in our router here again. Mux star. Let's say new route, just like that, and it has an important nice and clean. The route as well, nice and clean. Takes in the router like that. You say http the handle the log the fatal the listen and serve. I'm gonna say you're gonna listen at localhost 8080. Hopefully I have nothing running on that. So okay, we're gonna say ls, we're gonna say cd into cmd. What's there? Cd into n. Okay, I'm gonna say go run main.go. Okay, what error is that? Unknown database music free. Okay, That was expected. So we're gonna I'm using Fedora. The approach may be different from others using Windows. Okay, so we just, if I do, if I don't, and okay, I do not have that command saved up. So we're just gonna do this together. We're gonna say create table like that. My network is not its best today. Okay, so let's have this. Yes, I wish I could watch this right now. I just forget how to get in the and okay. All right, so I'm hoping this works. All right. Last time I did something like this, ChatGPT helped me out. So let's say MySQL issue root -p. Okay. Okay, that worked. Beautiful. We're gonna say create database. What do we call it? Music free camel case. Database music free. Okay, should it be doing that? I think let's run it again, passing the semicolon there. Okay, beautiful. So let's say show data basis. Okay, beautiful. So now if we run this again, we shouldn't have that error. I think we still have that error. Create table music. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna check if this is working. Okay, so I'm hoping this is not an error message. Okay. So we're gonna use Thunder Client. Go to your extensions in VS Code and install Thunder Client. So we're gonna use Thunder Client. We're gonna say new request like that. I'm gonna say local host that run is what 880 is it slash what route are we going to please music. Okay, and we have page not found slash in front, I guess. Okay, so we have nothing in our database. So we see a status 200. Okay, and it's an empty array because there is nothing in the database. So that means this works. So now we're going to go ahead, seeing that this works, we're going to just go ahead and create a post. We're going to create all our routes that's needed to handle our create a new music in the database, and the rest, the CRUD, the rest of it, the create, the read, update, and the delete, and just the rest of that. So seeing that this works now, okay, we're on the right track. Let's do this. Okay, so fine. So now we want to let's kick this off, and we're gonna go back to our. Should we start with the controllers or the models? Which one do we start with? Okay, let's start with the models. So we're gonna go to our models, or we're gonna continue from here rather. So we can stop this. That works fine. And now we're gonna say add music. Okay, You say we're taking a receiver M, just like that. We're gonna say this is add music. Alright, so it's like your create. I'm gonna return a type, just like that. We're gonna say the results, or we're gonna create a variable that says results equals to, create a variable that says db.create. I'm gonna pass in the value of music, just like that. I'm gonna say if result error is not equals to nil. Okay, I'm gonna say panic. I'm gonna return an error. Okay, just like that. If all of this goes fine, return M. And so the next thing we're going to do from here now is, normally we're not going to send this M. How is it going to be returned? So how this is returned is a function of, let's check here, is it here? No. How this is returned back to us is a function of the function we're going to do in our controllers, and we're coming to that. Okay, so this is for adding. And what if we want to get by a particular ID? Okay, we get a particular from my particular ID, get by ID. I'm gonna say get music, and it's gonna be, you're gonna take in a type of, you're gonna take in an integer. The ID is gonna be a number, integer, and it's going to return a type of music, just like that, from the DB, a database. It's beautiful advanced. We're going to create a variable. Let's get music of that type. We will say now the DB, the database function is going to be database dot where this ID, just like that. Sweet. Where this ID is equals to, the ID that we're going to perform a database function that says where ID as a parameter is equals to this ID passed in here. Okay, it's not going to find it, the value of get music, just like that. I'm going to return it as a value of from the database. So the next one we're going to be dealing with after this is the delete. We will not be doing the update in this particular package, but we're going to be doing another package soon. I'm going to say func this too is going to work by taking in an ID, which is an integer. ID small letters, integer of, maybe we use N64. I'm going to return. Once this happens, what is done is going to return. It's going to return. Once it's done deleting, we expect it to return a list of the remaining, the list of the remaining in the database, just like that. Okay, so we'll say var, define it nice and clean, music, just like that. We say db dot where this particular ID passed in the this particular ID passed in the API client is equals to this ID passed in the function. Okay, then we're gonna delete that particular music, just like that. And after that, it returns nice and clean, just what we wanted to, the remaining music in the database. So we're done here. And the next we're going to move into right now is we have all of this nice and clear. I don't think we should be coming back to this anytime soon. Yes. So this name, genre, artist, which we're going to use to submit to the database. And next thing we're going to do now is to work on our controllers. So now in our controllers, we're going to link the whole flow nice and clean. So what this we just did in the models is now going to be implemented properly in our controllers, and these whole two things now come together for a successful response when we ping those particular routes. Okay, fine, just nice and clean. I love this flow because it just helps me to understand what I'm doing per time. I'm not doing everything at once and then getting mixed up in the sea of what to do next. I know that after this is this, after this is this. It gets more complex than this many times. So you have to verify the session, you have to authenticate, and these authorizations and cookies, and it gets complex sometimes. But it's always good to understand the basics of it, of the flow, how it goes, per. So we're gonna say we have for the get, and the next one we're gonna be doing for now is the add. We want to add a music to this catalog. I'm going to say this is a function, and this function is add music. Add this function, and convention. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that tired. We're going to say a response, just like that. We're going to say r http.request. Just like that. We're going to create this like this. No, that isn't for that. We're going to say let's do this like this. Let's create this variable like that. We're going to say this. You're going to take inference from these models that we've created. I'm going to say the utils is beginning to play out. It's going to be playing out largely from this point on. It's going to be, say pass. So now we want to send to the database, and we're going to be sending it via. We're going to be sending it. This is the function of the utils. So the utils takes in the request, it passes it, and it unmarshals it as this, and sends and returns it now. So this is what we're trying to work on here. So it passes the request. We're going to be adding. So this is going to be a post request. So it's going to be we're going to be passing this request. So utils of pass body, and it takes in this request and this, just like that. Nice and clean. So I'm going to say m and music dot add music dot add music as a function. Why do we have an error? Models of music has no field or method. Models dot so it is add with small letter a. So let's see what happens here. Add music. Is there one of them that has to be small letter? Then you see, this just, I don't like when this happens, because we could have verified this from the beginning by the kind of So this is really nice when you use the same names. I'm just hoping that we get to see it as we move on. So but let's just read from the error. We understand what is going on. Add music undefined. Type models.music has no models.music. So it's from here. So models.music has no. I know it's about here. I know we're creating a controller for this. Let's create a controller for this. So add the music also. Add music. So m equals to add music dot. That is causing a worry, my good friends. I'm not gonna lie. So let us pass this in. It can't cause much harm like this. So res is gonna be, we don't want the second option there. JSON the Marshall that m. I'm not gonna lie, this is really worrying. Really worrying. But we're gonna get it. We're just gonna be patient with it. The right header http dot status. Okay. You say w the right res. Okay. Let me try this. Okay, so we get the same thing. Yes, from our controller, alright. Add music undefined type music. Models of music has no field or method. Add music, which is true. Oh my. If this isn't driving me stir crazy, then I don't know what else does. What could be its issue? Because I can't even move on right now. So we're using add. So we shouldn't be having an issue. We shouldn't have the get add, which is great, get by ID, and delete. Nah. Oh my. What about oh wow. Okay, so let's just keep going. I'm hoping the code first that is behind us is gonna get this all sorted out. So let's leave this like that. I'm gonna say after we've added, we're gonna want to, the controller for the get by ID. I'm gonna say func get music ID. ChatGPT just might be of help. Oh, okay. I thought it fixed itself for a second there. ChatGPT just might be of help if it gets too stubborn as we go on. So we're gonna just do the conventional stuff. Response writer. I'm gonna say http the request Let's say vars. I'm gonna using this mux to pass in the request of R. Nice and clean. Let's say music ID and be vars. Wait a second. Music ID. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna say for this, let's say ID. Let me get this next up again. Let's just keep it simple. ID CRMV. Just like that. We're gonna pass in this integer. I'm gonna say music ID just like that. Taking a bunch of other parameters that this function takes. So pass on int takes takes in the string, which is a music ID, takes in the base integer, which is between 0 to 36, and the bit size, which is between 0 to 64. Okay, just like that. So taking 0, taking 0. We say if error, it is an error. Yeah, FMC. Just print back to the console. Error while parsing. Simple. Next, we're gonna go to say is right after this. We're gonna say okay, fine. Music details. This, which we do not want, is models. The get. We're supposed to have the get music by ID here. Get music. So we have all. We have add. We have get by ID. Okay. Just so that we don't get this mixed up. How about that? So we say the get music by ID HTTP just like that. So say get music by ID. We pass in that ID there, nice and clean. So say response this, which we do not want. Let's say we're gonna mash all this. Gonna mash in the basic details, and then next thing that happens is all of that happens for the response. So I don't think it's bad if we copy this last 3 lines here and just like that. So the next one we're going to be creating right now, which I said we're going to be creating right after we're done with the rest of those, is the update. We will say update music. When you want to update a particular record, maybe you got the spelling wrong, you got something wrong, you just want to have that corrected. So we're gonna say func update w. Just I'm gonna do it right now, like that. HTTP, not HTTP. Stop that. The next thing it takes in is R. HTTP dot takes in the request, nice and clean. And now let's do this. We're gonna save our update this music. Is equals to the models. like that. Next thing, we're gonna pass this in again. No. This was this one, which supposedly comes from the mux package. Just like that. And it takes in the request. I'm gonna say music ID. So we're going to create all the parameters in which we're going to be working with in the next few blocks of the code. So we're going to be we're going to say music ID was it takes in music ID gonna string. Alright, we're gonna parse this. We're gonna pass in nice and clean the music ID like that. We're gonna pass in other parameters. And we're gonna say if error is not equals to nil, just like that. We're gonna say the print line. It's simple. Error. Wow. Parsing. Simple. And we're going to say music. Where are you? Music details. Alongside the database. Okay. This should be a comma. Alongside the database is going to be equal to models dot get music by ID, and it takes in the ID. Nice and clean. We're going to say if update music, if update music is not equals to an empty string, music updates music dot. So we had the name, we had the name of the song, we had the genre, we had the artist. So we're gonna let us take it from the top. If name is equals to just like that. The next, so we're gonna do this for the three blocks. Let's say it's our name. This should take in this, just like that. Nice and clean. We're gonna take in this for the next one. Genre. I'm gonna take in this too. Find that one. Artist. So now we have all that, and we say now if all of this is not equals to an empty string, so therefore this that is going to be passed in through our API client is now going to be equals to this. And now what is going to do with all this information that it has all stored up? It's going to say db dot save, just like that, the value of music details. And for a response, what do we get? For a response we get res underscore JSON the Marshall. Where Marshall those details. Okay, and the next is just this. Copy that and put that there, nice and clean. So we're done with our update function, and the next we're gonna do now to match it up with is the update. Then right after this we go ahead to our route. So we're gonna say func. I say func delete music. I'm gonna say w http the response rider r http dot request vars. I'm gonna say mux. So the same thing for update. We're gonna be picking this whole thing by ID. So you could just go ahead and take it from here. Look at that. We even got that mixed up. This is not music. This is music. Okay. So we can take this like this. Right. So we can copy that. So we have this music ID and the error or parser and this error. Okay, and the next thing we just want to do is we say music equals to models dot just like that. Only passing the ID. And the response, the next thing is response. We say this JSON the Marshall. We pass in the music just like that, and the rest is just this. Okay, so I think for everyone we have dealt with something like this. So I'm trying to get inference. So this equals to add music. I'm trying to see if we can get any clue from the previous ones we've written. Okay. This should work. Add music. So this is this. Okay, so we have a first request here. Add music. Let's see if that changes anything. So say this. Let me say. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to, because I think I got this all mixed up. It's models, music. So we're not going to parse this. Yes. Just like that. We're going to say M equals to does that work? Let's check this out. Okay. So it runs, but doesn't mean that it's void of errors, because I'm not sure of that correction we just made. So this is all gonna go away once we have all of this hooked up to somewhere, I guess. But I'm pretty skeptical about this code we have here. So moving on, we're going to go to our route and have it all defined. So for every one we've worked on now, we're going to define the route for it. So it's nothing really heady here. So we're going to say we have here, this is the first one, and the second one is going to be for handling the create, and it's going to be a post. And the next one is going to be getting by ID. So this is going to take in an ID here, just like that. Look at this slash. Let's say music ID, like this. Let's check it out. What did we spell out? Okay, so music ID, just like that. Yes, just like that. So once we take in our music ID, this is gonna be, this is for get music. So this is also gonna be a get method, and this is gonna be get. This isn't gonna be get music anymore. It's gonna be get music by ID, and the next, which is also gonna be taking an ID, just like this, music ID, and it's, yeah, this is gonna get music. Now this is gonna be the update, and it's gonna be put, just like that. And then the final one, which is gonna be delete. So you're gonna need the ID, and it's gonna be straight up delete. And this here is gonna be okay. So we have our get music. Now our get music, we have our, this here is create. Okay, all right, so I think we're done here. So let's start this back up. Okay, and let's create magic. What do you say? So we go to our Thunder client. Okay, we are there. There's something I'm looking for. I keep forgetting. Oh Christ. Okay. So it goes like this. What I'm looking for is just this. So it takes in this format. It's a format I never seem to memorize it well enough. So we're gonna go back to this. I'm gonna say body. This, yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be a post because we want to create now. So let's paste this. So we have the name genre artist. So let's start with J. Cole, J. Rap, and say the last stretch. Sender. Okay. Okay, we have that, and now let's get. Okay. So I'm thinking we have a bit of an error, and I'm pretty sure it's from here. So it sends back to us, but it's not doing exactly what we want it to do. And I didn't think I'm gonna be stuck here Do say I know there's a function that that should be that is attached to this. I don't just know why it's all right. So I went through it, and I from what I've noticed is we made a mistake, and it cost us a little while. So this is it. In our models, Go by standard only exports the functions that start with a capital letter. So initially we had A, add music with small letter A. So I found that if we export this function, change the letter A, the controllers here, when we have create music, and I change a bunch of things. I don't know if it's noticed. I don't know. So you see create music, the add. So we were trying to call that add function, but it wasn't working. Okay. So now we are done with our code. I'm gonna check it up if it works. So just before it go, just do go more tidy one more time. Okay, nothing is there. We say go run main.go, and it's running. If we go back to Thunder client and we say we want to create this to our database, and we say name, genre, artist, we send, and we run a get, there it is. So right now it's in a database. So if you want to create another song, I'm gonna say unavailable, Afrobeats, and it's Davido. So if we post this to our database, okay, just like that. Let's add more. I think Miley Cyrus dropped a song Flowers. I don't know. I don't know. So generate as pop, obviously. I'm gonna say Miley Cyrus. No. And we send that. And let's say we have this song, Raise, Afro Grime, and the artist is Modo Black, and we send it in. So now if we get this, voila, there is our music library. So from here we can perform other functions like delete. We can delete, let's say, an ID of 4. So ID of 4 is going to be unavailable. This. So if we run this, we do not expect to see anymore. We sent that, and okay, that has been cleared. So if we run a get, and we take away the ID and we send that is missing. So if we run output, let's pick an ID of 5, and let's say for that one we say flowers. Let's say flower parts this time around, still in the ID of 5, and this is a Afrobeat by Wizkid, and let's see what happens. Okay, so let's run again. I don't know why this keeps happening. Okay, all right. So apart from that, we see that other functions, other methods are working. Routes working just fine. Update, put, gets put and delete. All the methods we need to work are working correctly. So the final thing we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go back to the root directory where we have everything. We're gonna say git init. Okay. So we're gonna go to our browser. Nice and clean. Okay. My network today is not its best at all. Pretty sure you've noticed. So we're gonna create a new repo and we're gonna call it music free. So music free is gonna house this our little music library API, and the network is just not it at all. So I'm guessing that is where we come to the end of today's class, but I do hope you are able to put this on your GitHub as soon as possible. So today's class we're working with we built an API, and this time around somewhat different from our previous class. We were working with a database and also structure, so we're able to have a well-defined structure for our project, and we have all the endpoints running fine. All of this is working all good. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. And as always, keep coding, and nothing is too difficult. Alright, thank you. Have a nice day.